You know they are not fully available. You've known for a while. They run hot and cold. They pull you in and then pull back. They give you just enough to keep you holding on, but never enough to make you feel secure. And the logical part of you knows this is not working. But you cannot stop. Every time you decide you are done, something pulls you back. A text, a moment of warmth, a version of them you caught a glimpse of once and have been chasing ever since. And you find yourself wondering why you keep doing this, why you cannot just want someone who actually wants you back. This is not a character flaw. This is psychology. Specifically, it is the predictable output of a nervous system that was wired in a very particular way. And once you understand the mechanism, you can start to break it. Chapter 1: The real reason you keep chasing. The answer is not that you love pain. It is not that you're attracted to what is bad for you. The real reason is simpler and more uncomfortable than that. You're chasing because the chase feels like home. If you grew up in an environment where love or attention was inconsistent, where a caregiver was sometimes warm and sometimes withdrawn, sometimes present and sometimes emotionally unreachable, your nervous system built its definition of closeness around that experience. It learned that love involves longing, that connection requires pursuit, that the warm moments mean more precisely because they are not guaranteed. So when you meet someone emotionally unavailable, your nervous system does not register danger, it registers familiarity. The uncertainty, the push and pull, the hoping and waiting, all of it maps directly onto the emotional landscape you were raised in. It doesn't feel toxic, it feels like love is supposed to feel. And someone who is simply available, warm, and consistent, your nervous system doesn't know what to do with that. It doesn't match the pattern, so it gets dismissed as boring or lacking chemistry or not the right fit. The fix starts with naming this clearly. What you're chasing is not the person, it is the feeling of almost having someone. And that feeling was never about them, it was always about something much older. Chapter 2: What is happening in your brain? Here's the neuroscience that makes this so hard to walk away from. Helen Fisher's research on romantic attraction identified that the brain systems activated during pursuit and longing overlap significantly with the brain's dopamine reward circuit. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation chemical. It drives you toward rewards that are uncertain, not rewards that are guaranteed. This is why intermittent reinforcement, being rewarded inconsistently and unpredictably, is the most powerful behavioral conditioning pattern known in psychology. It's the same mechanism behind gambling addiction. The payout doesn't come every time, and that's exactly what makes it impossible to stop. Your brain keeps going back because it has learned that the reward is possible, and possibility is more activating than certainty. Every time an emotionally unavailable person pulls back and then comes back, your dopamine spikes harder than it would if they had simply been there all along. Every small moment of connection feels disproportionately meaningful because of how long you waited for it. You are not weak for responding this way. You're human. Your brain is doing what brains do. The problem is that it's being exploited by a dynamic that was never designed to actually meet your needs. Chapter 3: Why walking away feels impossible. You have probably tried to end it before, and you probably found that the moment you created distance, the pull got stronger, not weaker. That is not coincidence. That is your attachment system activating. John Bowlby, who founded attachment theory, described what he called protest behavior. When an attachment figure becomes unavailable or threatens to disappear, the nervous system does not calmly accept the loss. It escalates, it protests, it drives you to pursue, to reach out, to do whatever it takes to restore the connection. This was a survival mechanism in infancy. Staying close to a caregiver kept you alive. The problem is that the same system is still running in your adult relationships. When someone pulls away, even someone who is not good for you, the attachment system reads it as a threat and sends one instruction: go after them. Logic does not reach that system. Knowing they are wrong for you does not reach it. The body just moves toward them. This is why you send the message you swore you would not send, why you go back after you said you were done. It's not weakness, it's biology that has not yet been given a reason to update. Chapter 4. How to actually break the pattern. The pattern breaks when you stop trying to override the feeling and start working with what's underneath it. The first thing to do is identify what the unavailable person represents to you. Not who they are, but what they symbolize. For most people, it's the hope of finally being chosen by someone who withholds, finally being enough for someone who makes you feel like you are not. That hope is not about them. It's about a much older wound, and no relationship with that person will ever close it, because the wound did not open there. The second thing is to interrupt the chase at the behavioral level before the emotional level catches up. You won't feel like not reaching out. Reach out anyway, just not to them. Call a friend. Write down what you are feeling. Move your body. The urge to chase is energy looking for somewhere to go. Redirect it before it reaches your phone. The third thing is to get honest about your pattern of dismissing available people. Every time you wrote someone off as boring or lacking spark, ask yourself now whether they were actually wrong for you or whether they simply were not activating your chase response. Those are not the same thing. One is incompatibility. The other is your nervous system protecting a familiar dynamic at the cost of your actual happiness. Psychologist Stan Tatkin, whose work on couples and neuroscience examines how early attachment shapes adult relationships, is clear on this point. The nervous system will always move toward what is familiar over what is healthy, until healthy becomes familiar. That shift happens through repetition, not insight alone. You do not chase unavailable people because something is wrong with you. You chase them because your nervous system learned to call that feeling love. But love is not supposed to feel like holding your breath. It's not supposed to feel like waiting to be chosen. It's not supposed to require you to make yourself smaller to keep someone interested. What you are chasing is a feeling, and that feeling can be created differently in a relationship where you don't have to chase at all. Here's your challenge. Within the next 24 hours, think of one available, consistent person in your life that you have dismissed or overlooked. Not someone you are obligated to pursue, just someone you wrote off quickly. Ask yourself honestly what the real reason was. Was it genuine incompatibility, or was it the absence of anxiety? That answer will tell you more about your pattern than anything else will. Subscribe for the next video. The work continues there.